Hi everyone. If you are joining us, you are watching the inaugural live recording of the Feed to Succeed podcast. And here we are getting ready to go, and I'm going to click start and we're going to go for it. You all ready?
I'm ready.
All right, let's do this. Hello and welcome to the Feed to Succeed podcast. I'm Betsy Youngren, registered dietitian and pediatric nutrition expert. And today I am here with Meredith. Meredith, say hello to everybody.
Hi, I'm Meredith Estes. I'm the new office assistant at Feed to Succeed.
Yeah, Meredith has been with us since September. Tell everybody a little bit about your role, Meredith.
I book all of the appointments. I answer the emails that come in. I take in any phone calls, working on the inventory, and just kind of generally keeping it on track moving forward so that other people can do the bigger roles, like getting you guys the health and advice that you need.
So here it is a little awkward for me to put you on the spot, but how do you feel about your job so far? You can lie.
Oh, I think it's okay.
You think it's okay?
Yeah, oh gosh, it's great. I love it here. It's a great group of people and it's going really well. Yeah.
I'm glad. We're glad to have you.
Thank you.
So we haven't podcasted in a while. Is podcasted past tense the proper way to say that, or?
Podcasted, I think.
Okay. So the last series 4, ended last, I think it was June. And we had at the time said get ready for series 5, which is going to be about sports nutrition. It's coming. And then it kind of didn't come, and it kind of didn't come.
And so here we are.
Still kind of didn't come. So today I said, actually not today, I'm not that spontaneous, but I've been thinking in my head we have to just get on the horse and get back out there and keep on going. But truth be told, things are going to shift a little bit around here because we lost my co-host, Jen.
Yeah.
So I'm very sad to have lost Jen. She was a great podcast co-host. We had a great banter. She brought a lot to the show with her culinary expertise. So we're kind of starting afresh. And I thought that what we're going to do for the next several recordings is have various Feed to Succeed team members join me, because I feel really awkward talking by myself.
And I drew the short straw. So
I totally threw Meredith under the bus today. I'm like, we're just going to do this. Are you okay with this? I put everything up, and then I'm like, oh, and by the way, we're going to video record it too. She's like, what?
Okay.
Anyway, so we're going to just kind of get back on the horse and get started, because we got to start somewhere. And as Rachel Hollis, shout out, would say, you know what, you're not going to do it perfect the first time, but you got to start somewhere to get better. So that's what we're doing. And so that's kind of how things are going.
Sounds great. Let's do it.
Let's do it. So some of the things that are going on with Feed to Succeed, aside from having lost our wonderful Jen, is that we are building a new website. And that's very exciting. We're hoping it's going to be up and launched beginning of the new year. I don't have an exact launch date yet.
Working on content now.
We are working on content, and what we're doing is our current website has been great. It's full of information on who we are and how you can reach out and how you can make an appointment. But we are really looking with the new website to build community and provide resources. Not everybody can get to Glenview for a nutrition appointment, but we have a lot of knowledge in this office. We have a lot of information. We have a lot of printed materials. We have all kind of stuff. So we're going to have a new part of our website where you can access some of our handouts and printed materials and recipes. You can listen to podcasts. You can watch videos. And some of that we have already made, and some of it is new material we're working on, but I'm excited about it.
Yeah, the meetings have been really interesting to see what's going on with that and how it's working.
Yeah. And other updates, what else do we have? We have Melanie, our dietitian Melanie, is away in Houston, Texas. She is doing a 1-year fellowship in sports nutrition, which is another delay on why we haven't started the topic. As soon as I figure out how to get her calling in for these recordings, we'll get her on here and start talking about kids and sports as soon as we can. What else?
She's learning a lot down there. She's excited to be down there.
For sure.
We're just still trying to continue to build and grow, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Always.
Always.
Always fun. So I don't really have a topic today, but you and I were having a interesting conversation this morning. Julia was here; she had to get out early for the day, but we were talking about eating perfectly.
Yeah, and what does perfect mean?
And Julia said to me, "Well, you don't eat perfect," and I was like, "I do. I'm a dietitian."
Yeah.
But then we started actually kind of going down the philosophical rabbit hole of what does that mean to eat perfectly. Meredith, what are your thoughts on that?
I'm working very hard in my house to not use the word perfect at all.
Okay.
Regarding anything. We have a house full of perfectionists. So we want to set the expectations that you're going to make mistakes and learn from them. And it's all about moderation in everything we do. So that's where we're living right now. And we're trying really hard to shift that mentality. I know I have some trouble with it and a lot of things that I do.
Yeah.
And so I want to make sure that my kids, as I raise them, we don't have that expectation that you're going to be perfect.
For sure. I think that's healthy. It's affecting my life and my thoughts in two different arenas. One being trying to pull together all this new content for Feed to Succeed is kind of has me paralyzed, some of it, because, I want to give you guys the best, most wonderful information so you love me because everybody wants to be loved. But it's really hard to reach everybody where everybody is, and I'm feeling sort of paralyzed with wanting to create new content but not make a mistake, and it's holding me back.
Yeah, absolutely. Because there's so many different paths and different needs. There's overweight, underweight, GI, any sort of medical complication, and how do you reach all of those different audiences and be perfect? That would
exactly.
paralyze me as well.
Right. So I think I need to just start and accept that what I put out there at first isn't going to be perfect, but it's better than not having anything out there at all.
Yeah.
Because who are you helping if you keep your mouth shut?
Yes, shout from the rooftops. And hopefully feedback. I mean, as you build this community, right?
Yeah.
As we build this community, hopefully people will start to give us the feedback that they would like to see.
Right. That would be so
things
helpful.
that are really hitting them at home. I know I come from one lens, right, with young kids and my own stuff and baggage. And you come from a different end with all of that you've got going on in your household.
Right.
And then there's a ton of other areas we could go into.
That's a really good segue, because since you're kind of new to the Feed to Succeed team, we should tell people who you are.
Oh, who am I?
Yeah.
I am a Glenview mom, like everyone in this office. I have 3 young kids, twins who are in 1st grade, and then a 5th grader. I do have some athletics in the house, which is new for me. I'm a bookworm myself, so getting that and handling how their nutrition plays into that is important, and I'm starting to look at that. And then also I volunteer all over the place, so to go back to work has been a really interesting transition. It's been fun and exciting, and it wasn't something that was planned, but I'm super thrilled to be here.
It fell on your plate. And
it did.
Right place, right time.
It was, and I'm really excited to be here. It's a good group of people, and I'm learning every single day. And I myself need some work on the nutrition stuff.
We
so
all
this
do.
but this has been good for me to revisit where I am as an adult, even though we work with pediatrics. So it's good. Yeah.
And to your point, that's the other piece of perfect that I was talking about this morning was, being in the field of nutrition and how do you eat perfectly, and does that even exist?
Yeah.
And because there's so many variations of what is perfect, and then if you really did eat perfectly, would that be perfect? And I think kind of no, because it wouldn't be healthy mentally and emotionally if you were like, so what am I trying to say?
Obsessive.
Yeah. Like so bent on not ever eating anything bad and doing it right. I think then you miss out on another piece of life that is important. And certainly I believe as a dietitian that how we feed our bodies affects everything in medical status and health and outcomes. But I think that mental and emotional health are also equally important. So because my comment was, as a dietitian, sometimes when I go out to eat with people or I'm eating in the presence of other people, and maybe this happens to all of us, maybe I'm just biased from my like you said before, lens, but when I am eating in the presence of people who I know casually but not well, I get comments like, later after they get to know me a little bit, I waited for you to order first so I would know if I needed to eat healthy or if I could get what I wanted. I'm like, please don't be that way. Or
it's the fear of being judged. Yeah, which we have a lot of that right now in general.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Talk more about that.
So personally, I have had moments where I've worried that everyone is judging me because I like a good bit of food. I'm a big foodie and I could eat a lot, especially pizza's a problem.
Oh, yeah.
But pizza's a problem. At any rate, but I can be worried about what everybody else thinks, or I can be present and know that they're not thinking 1 ounce about me. They're thinking about what they're doing and what's going on. So it's more about your internal struggles that you deal with that. But it's hard when you're sitting with somebody who you deem perfect because you're a nutritionist.
Intimidated walking into an office full of nutritionists with those thoughts in your head?
There were some moments.
Were there?
Sure. Yeah, but I need to work through those because of my own stuff. There was a day actually where somebody sent a whole lot of muffins. I could have gobbled the whole thing up. And I had a whole lot of struggle that day.
Did you?
But it was good for me to struggle that day and to get through it and to own it and all of that stuff. But it was my struggle. I don't think any of you noticed that I was struggling.
No. And with those muffins, that was hilarious. We got a 15-pound bucket of muffins.
And there were only, 5 of us here that day?
There were 5 of us here.
Yeah, which is the max.
And it was very, very thoughtful intent.
Yes.
But we were all dietitians.
And they were really good.
And we were all like, oh, thanks.
But there's also only so much you could pack away and take home. Like, my kids love a good muffin, but I took 3 home for them. And then they were like, and we're done with the muffins. So.
And then you told me, which I didn't even know, a couple of weeks later, we had tossed the extras and there was a squirrel.
Yeah, there's one squirrel likes to hang outside our door. He tries to bury nuts all the time, and he kept leaving us little presents of the muffins. I'm not even sure. He must have taken a lot and then hidden them away. I don't know.
So
but yeah, we kept finding them. They were the muffins that wouldn't go away.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, perfect is probably not perfect. So I think it's a balancing act on what is good enough and what is good enough for your health and what is good enough for your mental and emotional. And I think we all probably struggle with that at times. Back and forth. One of the things that people commonly ask us when they call here to make appointments are how are we going to handle kids, and they are really concerned about their kids feeling judged and feeling like they are being why can't I think today? Alienated for weight issues, underweight or overweight. Parents call them, I don't want you to talk about the weight with my kid. I'm like, dude, I don't want to give your kid an eating disorder.
No one does.
No one does. I don't want to talk about, we don't use words like the words I'm not going to even say. We don't use words like that. We want kids to be healthy.
Yeah.
We're not looking at body shape and body size. We're looking at health. Are you here because you need to be healthier or because you need to fit in a certain size pants? Because we don't really prefer working with the people who are just trying to do this for their appearance. There needs to be more than that.
I think the thing I find interesting is I speak mostly to the parents calling in, and we get not only the child's concerns or issues around food, but then you get the parents playing into the issues. Yeah. So we've got our own baggage, and you don't want to create more baggage in your kid, but your kid comes with some stuff too. Could have a nurture versus nature debate right near as well. But that's such a hard thing to work through, and to make sure that you're meeting everybody's needs, but then also working on that piece of being healthy for the individual. And so perfect, A, doesn't exist, but B, it will look different for maybe the parent than the child. And 100%. That's a hard thing as a parent to let go and understand that your child needs different things than you do.
Right. We get so many different people with so many different walks. We get parents in here who have their own weight issues, so they've overcompensated.
Oh, yeah.
And their kids have no...
right here.
Their kids have no boundaries at all. And there's I understand it, that you're trying to be a loving parent, but still there's some boundaries that are okay to have. Yeah. And then we get the opposite, where these parents are so concerned about their child fitting into the culture and fitting in at school and looking a certain way, that the parents putting on their child, you need to look a certain way, be a certain way, appear a certain way, eat a certain way. And I even get parents in here who are like, I've been telling my 5-year-old to stop eating those donuts, and they just won't listen. Can you teach them not to eat donuts? I'm like, well, they're 5.
Yeah, there's a whole little self-control situation that does not happen at 5.
Right? I know. I had a donut yesterday, and it was good.
Yeah. Oh, man. There's a good donut place down the street. it could have a good donut.
So we were in Kalamazoo this weekend.
Nice.
My daughter had a figure skating competition, and they have, Sweetwater Donut Factory. Have you heard of this?
No.
There's 3 of them. They're all in Michigan. They're open 24/7. They're constantly cranking out fresh, delicious donuts.
Man, college, that would have been a situation.
Oh, that's
that's another story.
But yeah, so every time we go there, we feel like, oh, well, we're only here a couple times a year. We better get donuts. So I had, and then you go in and you're like, well, I really want to try that Snickers donut, but look at the peanut butter and jelly one.
But then there's the Oreo one, and then there's the good
Oreo
old-fashioned chocolate.
Oh. Well, in truth, I had the peanut butter and jelly donut.
Yeah.
And then I also got the sprinkle donut, or the Snickers donut. But I had been sick Friday night. I don't know, I had eaten something. My stomach wasn't quite right. So now this is Saturday, and I'm driving home from Kalamazoo with my family, and I'm like, I really want to eat that peanut butter and jelly donut. And my husband was like, don't do it. Your stomach.
We got it hours home.
Yes, your stomach won't like it. And my son, my 11-year-old, was like, Mom, what are you doing? And I'm like, I just want a bite.
Donut.
So I broke a third. This is me, like, trying to have self-control. I broke a third of the donut off.
Okay.
And I ate it. So it was like a jelly donut, like a raised donut. It was full of jelly, and then the topping
peanut butter was the
peanut butter
topping.
frosting.
Oh, nice. Drizzled.
No, it was thick.
Oh.
Probably a centimeter thick. So I ate a third of that donut, and I'm like, I'm just eating a little bit. Leave me alone. And I kind of pouted. I didn't want anybody telling me what I could and couldn't eat.
Oh, yeah.
Which we get that here, too.
I could easily spite eat with the best of them.
Oh, totally. And then I sat for a little bit. It's like 45 minutes. I'm like, I feel fine. Done with the rest of it.
Not so good?
I was okay.
Oh, good.
Right?
Good.
Thank you.
You never know, that could go either way.
I know. And then so normally, I don't normally eat many donuts, but then yesterday morning, I had that Snickers donut left, and it was staring at me.
Of course it was.
So I had to eat it.
Yeah. Yeah, I find if it's not in the house, I'm less likely.
Totally.
I also have to set the boundaries. Like, there's this donut place right near where we go to church every Sunday, and the girls every Sunday want one. Every Sunday.
Course.
So we do a community Sunday where we do a service project. I'm like, if you're going to do good for others, then perhaps we can have the donut. So we're down to once a month, but it could easily turn into a weekly habit, and then you're having that much sugar.
Right.
Sometimes it makes my teeth hurt, the sugar.
Yeah.
It's so good with a donut.
For
But
sure.
again, is that perfect? Is that moderation? Is that, it depends on what rules you have to set up for your own house and your own body and all that.
I was going to say, it depends on who you ask.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, donuts, man.
Yeah,
good
they're
stuff.
good stuff.
It's code for morning cake, right?
Morning dessert.
Morning dessert.
For sure. That's why I was eating mine at night, on Saturday night.
Well, yeah, same idea.
Here now I'm really going to disclose the truth. So we were hungry. We hadn't eaten dinner, and those donuts were sitting in the car. And I was like, I was sick. I can't just eat donuts. So we stopped at Popeyes.
Oh, man. Sometimes fried chicken.
No, so I just got the 3 chicken tenders.
Oh, okay. I've never had those. Are they good?
They were okay.
Okay.
I'm like, I'm going to have some protein. And David, of course, then he's like, you just ate 3 chicken tenders, and now you're going to eat a donut, and you were looking for sympathy about being up all night sick.
Yeah.
Wow.
Ooh, they don't get to call us on that.
Right. Yeah.
Absolutely. And I find as I get older, my stomach does not handle the things that it used to handle.
Me neither.
I mean, that is a change in the last couple of years.
Right. Stomach, blood sugar, all of that.
Yeah.
Crazy haywire.
Yeah. And that's a whole other topic we could get into, I imagine.
It is, but I guess the moral of today is what is perfection, and should we be striving for perfection in either our professional lives, our personal lives, or in our diet lives, nutrition lives? And where is that line? And I'm not here to tell you where it is, actually.
Yeah, you've got to figure that out for your family, for yourself, for all of that. And for me, it's a constant work in progress.
Always.
Where my line is in moderation and perfection, and constantly checking myself on that.
Right. And people who come in here, we're going to give you the information for how to do it 100% right, and you're going to have to figure out for you guys, for yourselves, what's going to work for your family. Because if you don't come up with a good balance, you're not going to stick with it and find success. And success is what we're here for, is to improve, not to perfect.
Yeah, and I find that I've had to lower my standards a lot for what I want to offer my children. I don't like cooking. I don't love the whole process of it, but I want to make these really elaborate, healthy dinners that are really balanced and at night,
Right.
not so heavy on the carbs and all of these things. Really, my kids weren't eating them. It was stressing me out.
Oh, yeah.
And I kind of went, you know what, I'm going to pull it back a little bit. And guess what? It worked. We're all eating much happier and healthier, and
Are you?
it's all
That's
good. Yeah, there's a salad every night. That's my one standard I kept. Other than that, we're doing all right. And I'm not as stressed because my kids aren't going, I hate this,
Right.
and then I'm getting angry at them for being so picky. It's a whole thing.
Yeah, so in August I did this 1 month anti-inflammatory diet. It's like Mediterranean diet,
Yeah.
basically, with a intent on adding foods that are anti-inflammatory and avoiding those that cause inflammation. So, that month I was very dedicated. I wanted to do it perfectly to see if I could tell a difference. But, okay, now it's almost 4 months later. I feel better.
Okay.
So that piece of me wants to kind of keep with some of those habits, but I'm finding it really boring and monotonous.
Yeah.
And I love food. And so I feel like, and I think this is totally normal for anybody who makes diet changes. I'm slowly slipping back down the slippery slope. And I'm looking for that balance that you're talking about between good enough, getting the results I want,
Yeah.
but also not being bored.
Yeah. And making it work.
Right.
I mean, if you're bored and it feels like such a drag to keep doing whatever it is, then you're not going to stick with it, right? Now, you had different results, right? Didn't you do it with David as well? And you guys felt a little differently and kind of sticking with it?
Felt good too. We both felt really good eating a Mediterranean healthy diet, lots of fruits and vegetables. We both acknowledge you can physically feel the difference.
Yeah.
His social emotional needs for certain pleasure foods, his threshold for tolerating that was lower than mine, which is fine.
Yeah. Oh, but that's everybody.
It is.
Everybody has their own, right? Yeah.
Yeah. And I admit it, I'm a dietitian who's a foodie. I can get carried away. That's why I'm interested in this profession. I can get carried away and overly neurotic.
Yeah. I tend to just go out and I could do the binge thing, and then there's the
flagellation.
Yeah, I'm really good at that. That's a whole other podcast too.
It sure is. Oh my goodness. All right. Any wisdom or tips you want to share with people? It's Thanksgiving this week.
I guess lately it's been about being intentional.
Okay.
Deciding what that piece is. Is this going to be a healthy food day? Is this going to be a one day is Thanksgiving? Is this going to your whole weekend is and then you get back on track? Whatever that is, to be intentional with it for you and your family and your individual family, right? Like your family looks different than mine, and that's all okay. Now, how about you?
My philosophy is that on a holiday, I'm going to overindulge in everything available. I will exercise that day, probably more than usual. I'm a runner, so I might typically run 35 minutes, but I'll probably go a little longer Thursday.
And I've seen her running in the rain with the dog. Really in the rain, like not just like a light drizzle, like a full out rain. It's totally impressive.
Okay, so this is now getting to the reality of my neuroses.
Oh no.
Yeah, that is one of them. So I will get some exercise more than usual, but then I will eat whatever I want, and I will not feel bad about it.
Yeah.
It's one day.
Yeah, and that's where I am. Exercise is a thing that happens every day in my house. So I might add a little bit more that day. I could see that happening too. But for me, it's setting the intention. Like today's Thanksgiving, I'm not going to feel bad about it anymore.
Thanks for all this
food.
And
I pay a therapist a lot of money to work through that stuff. So we've all got neuroses. Don't feel alone there.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome.
Yeah, so we'll probably binge all day on Thursday. It probably won't immediately get better because we'll have company around and leftovers. But I would say probably by Monday of the following week, I'm ready to put it behind us.
Yeah. And I also start to feel a little bit like I'm done. Sunday, I just need a healthy meal.
Please don't make me eat.
No more turkey. No more turkey.
Food forever. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. But let's be thankful, everybody, listeners, watchers, whoever, for the fact that we do live in a place where food is aplenty.
Yes.
And certainly there's poverty and food need even within our own community, and be sensitive to that. But most of us who are tuning into this type of program probably have more than we need, and we can be thankful for that.
Absolutely.
And keep others in mind. And let's not strive for perfection, but let's strive for good enough.
Good enough, and grateful for the family and friends around us always.
Yeah. Any
Thank you so
other
much.
thoughts, Meredith?
No, this was fun. Not
Yeah.
quite as scary as I thought. Thank you, everyone.
It's really fun, right? I love it. So, I've missed podcasting, so this was
There we are.
to get it back out there, and we'll be bringing you some more soon. Have a great Thanksgiving. Bye.
Bye.